Is your content creation process, does it start with LinkedIn? Like you'll come up with these ideas and you're like, okay, I'm gonna turn this into a LinkedIn post and now I'm gonna put that into like a TikTok video. Or like how do you think about how all these platforms work together? Do you have like kind of separate ideas that you use for TikTok versus LinkedIn, or do you have like one central, you put all your ideas in your notes and you're like, oh, this idea, this is gonna be a TikTok, this is also gonna be a LinkedIn post, this is gonna be a tweet. Like, how do you think about all of those different platforms and creating content across all of them?
I guess I would have to say it depends. It seems like a lot of ideas start out as specifically for LinkedIn or specifically TikTok, or I say, hey Siri, and then I say, save this as a TikTok or save this as a LinkedIn. But sometimes an idea is just too good, and you see a ton of people really enjoying it on LinkedIn, and you think to yourself, I should probably repurpose this into a snappier version on TikTok. And then I've seen such great results from that too. It's almost like a little testing ground. And then I've gone the other direction too, where I've tested an idea on TikTok and then it really did well and I want to expand on it. So I guess for me, it's like each social platform has its different characteristics that allow for a specific type of creativity. And with LinkedIn, it's context. You get to go into depth. People read it. They engage with it. They will read an entire piece of content by you every single day, word for word. That blows my mind. And so having that sticky of a following is really cool. And I think what like Twitter has is really short and snappy. You jump in there, you share your quick ideas. It's a tweet. It's a bird tweeting in the air, you know? It says it in the name. And then you go on TikTok and you can do something similar. You can go into context, but you do have to be quick about it and you do have to think about your hooks. And so I think for me, it depends on what that idea is and how in depth I want to go. It determines where it's going to end up. But I mean, I'm perfectly fine sharing ideas across each platform because I think each
Right.
community is different. And even if people follow you on multiple places, they may engage with you more in one versus another. But yeah, I hope that answers that.
Do you do anything with like outbound messaging, or is that something that you recommend to people, like going out there connecting with other relevant people in your space, or are you really all about like, hey, let's just put out good content, let's attract the right people to us? How do you think about that?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I think the strategy should focus around content, community, and engagement. And I don't think you can really
Mhm.
have good content and community without engagement. It's kind of like the glue that holds it all together. So I absolutely think that those touch points have to be happening. And so I'm stoked that they have a notification bell on the LinkedIn profiles now. So when you really like a creator, you can go in there and subscribe now, and you can get that notification right when they post. But no, I think that outreach is a huge part of it. And if you're the type of person on LinkedIn who wants to bring on clients and you want to find new people to work with or new partnerships, like yeah, DMing is definitely that next step in like nurturing those relationships. So, but my big thing is like everybody wants to focus on the search bar. It blows my mind. They go in there, they type in an industry, and they start looking for people. And the problem is those are dead accounts. Those accounts are not being used by anybody. They're the type you described at the beginning, where it's like you're just showing up to update the world on that fancy new job title you just got and dip out. You know, like those are the accounts you're going to find. And I think a lot of people can end up with like 1,000 followers, and they'll post something and they won't get anything because all the accounts they found were through the My Network button or the search bar. And so I was working with this guy the other day, and he's trying to figure out how to orient his social selling strategy. And he shows me how he finds people. And I'm like, just stop doing that. I'm like, just use this content that you're creating and start going to the people that are inside those comments and in those likes. And then when you find a company that you're interested in, don't go right after the CEO. Go for some of the people that work for the company and engage with them and get to know them and make that connection. Because when a manager above them that's on LinkedIn sees that connection, they're going to see that it's like the guilty by association, but you can also be trusted by association. And so those things start to intermingle. And then before you know it, you got the CEO. Like one time I had the CMO of Gong and his entire staff on one of my pieces of content, all because one of his employees commented on it. That should be the content should be a huge aspect of the social selling strategy. But everybody just wants to jump into the DMs and send a scripted message and act like the results don't speak for themselves. So I told this guy, I'm like, hey, just engage with those lower level people at the company. And then when the time comes and that CEO or that founder or that manager is talking to you or commenting on your stuff, send them a message and say, "Hey, thanks so much for reaching out, reaching into my comments and leaving your thoughts. I greatly appreciate it. A little goes a long way in the LinkedIn algorithm." Something like that. Nothing serious.